Today on Season of War, Trug's Trogard wanders the deep, dank caves, while the Helsmiths of Hashut look to announce themselves to the mortal realms. Trug leads his own army of renown, which helps bolster the Troggoths and allows Trug's Laystone to benefit all Trogs on the battlefield. A dank-hold Trog boss helps lead the force, bearing crunchy shinies and the Moonstone Teeth. 18 Rockgut Troggoths fill out the bulk of the army, though a unit of Fellwater Troggoths has been brought to help erode enemy defenses. Across the battlefield, a trio of infernal heroes lead a castigation battery, which will grant an extra shooting attack to war machines, juiced up with chaotic power. The Demon Smith is the general of the force, and the War Despot bears the Scroll of Petrification, while the Ashen Elder has an eye for weakness. 30 Infernal Cohort head the force's assault, while a trio of both heavy artillery and Dominator engines look to do the heavy lifting. These two forces will battle over the Cyclic Shifts battle plan, which features a standard scoring array. However, the underdog each round may disable either the red or green pair of objectives, shifting the flow of battle. With both armies ready to clash, let's head to the battlefield, for this is the Season of War.
This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and our FLGS partners, Warpfire Minis and Boutique Bastion. If you're in the US, check out Warpfire Minis for the best stock, deals, and service. In Canada, head to Boutique Bastion to buy, sell, or trade new and secondhand models. Today's battle showcases beautiful thematic dice from Baron of Dice. Grab your own or get a custom set made at baronofdice.com.
In today's matchup, the Gloomspite Gitz completed deployment first, allowing them to choose how the battle begins, and they opted to let the Helsmiths of Hashut start things off. At the start of their turn, the Helsmiths desolate a terrain piece and allocate the demonic power point to a Tormentor Bombard cannon, then use their reserves of demonic power to grant it 2 more. For the Gitz, Trug activates a place of power and makes their central objective obscuring. The Ashen Elder then fails his sacred rites, and the Infernal Cohort also fail to generate a demonic power point from conquered lands. The Helsmiths proceed to reposition, opting to stay at a conservative distance and put their long-ranged artillery to use. And with the Troggoth infantry all obscured, they set their sights on Trog himself. The Death Shrieker rocket battery is first to fire, dealing 5 wounds to the Troggoth King, while the Tormentor Bombards deal a combined 9 damage, and Trug just barely survives with 2 health remaining. Wrapping up their turn, the Helsmiths of Hashut claim 1, 2, and more objectives than their opponent, scoring 10 primary points, though because Trug survived, they failed to complete both of their battle tactics. After the Helsmiths desolate another piece of terrain, the Gloomspite turn begins with Trug healing a massive 6 health, then rallying to recover 2 more. The Troggoth King then hits his malfunctioning Laystone, activating the Glyph of Ulgu to make all Trogs -1 to hit in shooting. Then the Ashen Elder uses magical intervention to perform sacred rites, gaining 2 ritual points. Fearful of the devastating Dwarden artillery, Trug's Troggoths run across the battlefield to engage their foe quickly, while 1 unit of Rockguts uses the Living Landmark and Broken Slumber abilities to deep strike. The Rockguts behind enemy lines then throw boulders and deal 2 damage to a Tormentor Bombard. Then the other one uses covering fire, but deals just a single wound to the 6 Rockguts after they use all-out defense. Thanks to its 3 demonic power points, however, the Tormentor Bombard uses its Ruinous Bombardment to prevent both Trug and the 6 Rockguts from using commands until the next Helsmith turn. Hoping for a little luck, the deep-striking Rockguts attempt to charge and make it in, then take out one of the Tormentor Bombards. As they end their turn out in the open, the Gloomspite Gitz hold 2 objectives and score 8 primary points. But priority looms, and even with the Helsmiths using their reroll, the Gitz win priority and seize initiative. At the start of the turn, the Helsmiths desolate another piece of terrain. Then, as the underdog, they choose to deactivate the green objectives. Trug then recovers another 6 health before his Laystone switches to the Glyph of Gur, granting an extra attack to all Troggoth units. The Ashen Elder then uses magical intervention and generates another 2 ritual points, and the War Despot uses the Scroll of Petrification to give the Infernal Cohort a 2+ ward save. After the Gitz close in on their foes, the Fellwater Troggoths spray their noxious vomit, but fail to deal any damage. Then the Rockguts in the south miss with all their boulders. Next, the Tormentor Bombard uses covering fire against the looming Rockguts, but deals only a single wound. Then the Troggoths across the battlefield start charging. Feeling desperate, the Helsmiths countercharge with a Dominator engine. Then it uses all-out defense when the Rockguts attack, and suffers just 6 damage. The Dominator engine with immolation cannons then attacks a unit of Rockguts in the west, who use all-out defense and suffer no damage, while the last unit of Rockguts bring down the Demon Smith. In the center, the War Despot deals 6 damage to Trug before he's slain by the King of Trogs, who heals 3 wounds back. Then the Petrified Infernal Cohort weather the Fellwater Troggoth attacks. Next, the Rockguts and Trogboss in the west attack the Dominator engine, benefiting from another extra attack from the Trogboss. Together, they deal 7 damage to the Hashutite War Machine, while the Helsmith units in the east can only deal 2 wounds. With extra attacks from Trug and reducing rend in rounds 2 and 3 with their moon-toughened hide, the Troggoths have taken the fight to the Dwarden and score 10 points for holding 2 and more objectives. After desecrating another piece of terrain, a Dominator engine with Bane Maces receives 3 chaotic power points. The Infernal Cohort are given the last. Then they use Conquered Lands to grant themselves a second one. Next, the Ashen Elder chants for Furnace Blessing onto the Dominator engine, granting an additional rend to its melee weapons. As the Helsmiths of Hashut look to regroup, the Dominator engine with immolation cannons opens fire, dealing 4 wounds to the Rockguts and 3 to the Trogboss. In combat, the Dominator engine in the south attacks first, though the Rockguts use all-out defense and only suffer 6 damage. The Rockguts in the west then use all-out attack and bring down a Dominator engine, while the one in the east fails to deal any damage before suffering 3 wounds. Lastly, the Rockguts in the south deal 6 damage to the Tormentor Bombard. Hemmed in on all sides, the outlook is grim for the Helsmiths of Hashut, though they do hold 2 objectives and score 8 points. But then the Gitz win priority again and decide to take the turn. Into the 3rd battle round, the Helsmiths remain the underdog and turn off the red objectives. Then Trug bonks his Laystone, and it switches to the Glyph of Akshi, granting an additional rend to all Troggoths. The Ashen Elder then uses magical intervention and chants for sacred rites, earning 4 ritual points before the Troggoths close in once more. The Trogboss uses its Crunchy Shinies artifact for +3 to charge. Then the Fellwater Trogs spray their noxious vomit, but again fail to deal any damage to the Infernal Cohort. As the Gitz charge in, the 6 Rockguts are first to attack and bring down another Dominator engine, though the last one fights next with an all-out attack, and despite an all-out defense, the 2 Rockguts are slain. The Fellwater Troggoths then take down 2 Infernal Cohort, but have 2 Trogs slain in return. Then Trug and the Dankhold combine to kill all but one of the Dwarden infantry. The Gloomspite Gitz complete the first step of wrathful cycles for holding more objectives, but since the green objectives were off last round, they don't complete wrathful cycles, though they'll still score 15 points. After desolating their central objective, the Helsmiths grant 3 chaotic power points to both the Dominator engine and the Death Shrieker rocket battery. The Ashen Elder then chants for Furnace Blessing on the Dominator engine, getting the enhanced effect for both an additional rend and crit mortals. After the Dominator engine gets in position, the Death Shrieker rocket battery opens fire at Trug, and with all-out attack and an extra attack thanks to their battle formation, it deals 10 wounds, despite all-out defense. The Tormentor Bombard also sets its sights on Trug, adding 7 more damage, and finishing off the Troggoth King. The Dominator engine then charges in and uses its engine of domination to fight twice if a hero is nearby, and after all-out attack and defense, it deals 12 mortal wounds and 20 total damage to slay the Dankhold Trog boss. The lone Fellwater Troggoth and Infernal Cohort then both fail to deal any damage, but with Trug's downfall, the Helsmiths complete both of their battle tactics and hold 2 objectives to score 18 total points. The Gitz claim priority, however, and once more choose to take the next turn. The Helsmiths remain the underdog and choose not to turn off any objectives. Then the Tormentor Bombard rallies and recovers 2 health. As the Troggoths look to engage the Dwarden, the Infernal Cohort in the east redeploy 4 inches in hopes to get away. The 3 rockets huck their boulders at the lone Infernal Cohort and take him down. Then the Death Shrieker rocket battery uses covering fire and deals 3 damage to the Fellwater Trog. The 3 rockets then fail their charge, while the larger unit re-rolls with Forward to Victory and makes it in. The rockets then use all-out attack but only bring down 6 of the Infernal Cohort and suffer a single damage in return. Then the Dominator engine takes out the Fellwater Troggoth. Claiming the northeastern objective, the Gloomspite Gitz hold 2 and more objectives and complete Restless Energy, scoring 15 points this turn. The Helsmiths again grant 3 chaotic power points to the Dominator engine and Death Shrieker rocket battery. Then the Ashen Elder fails his chant for Furnace Blessing and banks 2 ritual points. As the Hashutites position to take on the 3 rock guts, the last Infernal Cohort try to retreat, but are slain in the process. The Death Shrieker rocket battery opens fire and deals 3 damage to the rock guts. Then the Tormentor Bombard adds 3 more. The Dominator engine then charges into the Trogs, and after all-out attack and defense, he deals 7 damage. The last rock gut then heals 3 health after retaliating, but was unable to inflict any damage. The Helsmiths of Hashut remain in control of 2 objectives and complete the second tier of Master the Paths to score 13 points. In the final priority roll, the Dwarden win and decide to give away the turn to the Gitz. Remaining the underdog, the Helsmiths deactivate the red objectives, then the single rock gut suffers 1 mortal wound when it retreats, and the Ashen Elder redeploys 4 inches. The Death Shrieker rocket battery then uses covering fire and deals 2 damage to the rock gut, and the Dominator engine countercharges. Then after suffering no damage from the Trog, it uses all-out attack and slays it. The Gitz remain in control of 2 objectives and score 8 points, leading us into the final turn of the battle. With little left to do, the Ashen Elder attempts to run to the opposing objective, but isn't quite quick enough. and while the chaos-tainted Dwarden reposition, there's nothing more they can do to bolster their scoring. In the end, the Helsmiths of Hashut hold 2 objectives and complete the second step of intercept and recover after killing another treasure unit last turn, which will see them eke out a narrow 6-point victory over the Trogs. With that, we hope you've enjoyed this match and first look at the new Helsmiths of Hashut. Stay tuned for another battle report with the Chaos Dwarves next week for channel members.